Hello out there. My name is Laolu Akonde, and you are on to Inside Sources. And here's my take for today, entitled Matters Miscellaneous 2. Why do we need special seats for women? That's the first thing I want to deal with. By now, women constitute approximately 49.3% of the total population in Nigeria. But the reflection of that is not seen in our political representation. For instance, women currently occupy less than 5% of seats in the National Assembly. Also, Nigeria has not even elected one single governor in our history as yet. Even the promises by successive governments to enlarge the space for women in their appointive public positions hasn't materialized. And so the current bill in the National Assembly has therefore become an essential affirmative action that every forward-looking federal legislator in Nigeria should support. Without a doubt, a greater representation of women will be a notable development in our democratic evolution, not just for the useful spice that the women will bring and the great vibe that such a thing offers. It will also mobilize real, active, and sustainable development in other sectors of our national life, especially because of the impact that this will create socially and economically. We all know that Nigerian women carry such positive force. And so I want to agree with Mr. Clement Nwako of the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center that if the current National Assembly members do not support the special seat for women bill, now I'm quoting him, Nigerians will conclude that the 10th National Assembly has failed, unquote. Let's say it loud and clear. The time to begin to seriously pursue gender equality in Nigeria, especially in the political space, has come. And the current members of the National Assembly should embrace this potential landmark. We should demand that whenever the vote for the special seat is done, we must have all the record. We need to know those who will support the vote and those who will oppose it. Let's get it done. The next point is on INEC and the internal affairs of political party. INEC is meeting the PDP factions to discuss and resolve their differences. And this is a good move by the new chairman of INEC, Professor Joash Amupito. We need a viable opposition in Nigeria, regardless of the shenanigans of our politicians. Those in PDP, those are the members who have caused the destruction. You know, their shenanigans is one. And APC politicians who are gloating over it. We should ignore both of them. It is useful for us to have a good opposition. Now, whether the factions in the PDP will welcome this is a different ballgame. For instance, for someone like Wike, how will he respond to this attempt to resolve the differences? Because if the problems in PDP is cured, how does that affect his own relevance with Mr. President and with the APC, especially now that Fubara has joined APC? And I think you heard that Fubara song. If you follow Fubara, don't do corner. Fubara, they tell you something. He has added a second verse. If you follow Tinubu, don't do corner. Fubara, they tell you something. So who is this Fubara song now addressing? We will find out. In the meantime, let's give kudos to Professor Amupito for this effort to bring PDP factions together. Moving on to point number 3, and this is still on party politics. The Supreme Court has reportedly on Friday affirmed that the SDP is led by the current acting chairman of the party and the national secretary. The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed as lacking in merit an appeal by INEC querying the leadership of the Social Democratic Party. The INEC had gone to the Supreme Court asking it to set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which upheld an order that compelled INEC to include SDP candidates in its by-elections that were conducted across the country, 12 states of the country sometimes ago. SDP challenged the refusal of INEC to recognize those candidates for the by-elections after they emerged through primaries that were monitored by INEC. Curiously, INEC refused to recognize the communication signed by the acting chairman of SDP, Dr. Sadiq Umar Abubakar, and the National Secretary, Dr. Olu Agunoye. In relation to the by-election, INEC was arguing that the duo were previously suspended by the party. Although an High Court ordered that all the SDP candidates communicated by the duo of Abubakar and Agunoye should be recognized and included in the ballot, yet INEC took the matter to the appeal court. But in a unanimous decision, a three-man panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Adepu Kola Banjoko, dismissed the appeal of INEC and upheld the High Court verdict. Yet, INEC was not content and still lodged an appeal with the Supreme Court, which has now rightly dismissed INEC's further appeal on Friday. The question now is, why was the INEC wasting public resources on something that every level of the courts were clear about, all the way from the High Court to the Supreme Court? It shows clearly a very curious and likely case of internal collusion and a worrying compromise by the legal department of INEC at the minimum. Let us hope Professor Amupiton, himself a senior advocate of Nigeria, will cure this worrying tendency in the National Electoral Commission. And kudos to the judiciary all the way from the High Court to the Supreme Court on that matter. But we can't say the same for the split 6-1 ruling of the Supreme Court on the president's exercise of the state of emergency powers, inclusive of suspending an elected governor, as we saw in Rivers, and suspension of the State Assembly. The ruling must worry every Nigerian, that is the current ruling of the Supreme Court, that understands the meaning of constitutional democracy. If an elected governor is to be disciplined in any manner, according to our constitution, that is the duty of the State House of Assembly, not the president. A federal government should not have such decisive powers over the state as for the president to suspend the elected leaders in the state. How is that different from military rule? We must ask ourselves such tough questions. So while we must bow to the judgment of the Supreme Court, because it is the Supreme Court, even many lawyers say it is more of a technical ruling than what is actually desirable. Yet, we must find a way to continue this conversation on whether we want democracy or not. Is it a democratic president that we want, or a king, or a dictator at the federal government? And this is without prejudice to the incumbent president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who used the same judiciary facility to properly redefine, and rightly so, the relationship of the states and the federal government in a democratic federalism when he was governor. The dissenting judgment of Supreme Court Justice Obande Ogunya is the starting point of that important conversation. He opined that although the president has the constitutional authority to declare a state of emergency, this power does not extend to the suspension or removal of a democratically elected officials, including governors, deputy governors, and members of the State House of Assembly. He also warned that the emergency situation do not justify executive encroachment on the people's electoral mandate or the extinguishment of constitutional safeguards for electoral state institutions. I agree with that. And there you have it. Inside Sources gets right on the road, full blast after this. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, we are going to have a conversation with one of the victims of Boko Haram in Yobe State. This is somebody that I had interacted with since all the way back to 2013, when, as the executive director of the Christian Association of Nigerian Americans, Canaan, I visited to interact with victims of Boko Haram attacks. So I'd like to welcome to Inside Sources, Mr. Yakubu Dauda.
You're welcome.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much for being
Of course.
now.
With him is our very regular contributor. He's a contributor at this point, who has been leading the charge both here in Nigeria and America, trying to defend the interest of many of the victims of this situation. He's also a US-based lawyer, Mr. Emmanuel Ogebe.
Pleasure.
Emmanuel, good to see you again.
Same here.
All right, let's start with Yakubu. Can you just tell our audience what happened to you? Because it's important to show that the things that we talk about is for real. I had met you in 2013, as a victim of Boko Haram attacks.
Exactly.
So tell my audience your story.
Actually, I'm so grateful to be again testifying another review of life to me. When actually this thing happened in 2012, I was managing the life and with the struggling of other around me to make me be a man again. Because since 2012, when this thing happened, the Boko Haram came on that particular day of November 2012, 9. I was just living in my room around midnight.
And this was in Yobe?
In Yobe, in Germany, under Fene local government. So that day cannot be erased from my mind and in my history, because there's been a U-turn to my life, actually. So when I was leaving, these people came. That particular day, I met them at my door before I even got into the room before I can sleep. I greeted him. One of them was my neighbor. And an old
one of the
man,
people that attacked you?
Yes, he's my neighbor. And by then, he's of 60 years. He's not a small man. But he has his youth that he gathered for them to assign for that killing. Because I don't know whether he assigned them to be killing people around.
But was he that your neighbor, was he a Boko Haram or just...
Yeah, he's a Boko Haram. He's a Boko Haram with the people around him. So when I came from what I'm doing, I greeted him at the door. I said, okay, I'm coming back. He said, you're welcome. How is the market? I said, it's fine, but it's already late. I'm going to sleep. He said, okay, we see tomorrow. That is how we just end up with him. But around that kind, 12 in the midnight, our doors are almost closed, so there's no any entrance through the main gate. So, but through his gate, it's more easier for him to assign them to come into our house. He has to put a ladder that will make them easy to come up.
So they climbed the ladder from his own house?
Yes, they climbed the ladder from his house into our house. So my room is close to the fence. So when they jump off, it's there already at my door. So before I can know, they have already inside the room, because I didn't close off the door very well because of the weather. Then there is a hole. It's somehow hot. So before I know, people have already matched me on my mattress.
Like how many people?
Then there are 7, the first one that matched me. But when we came out, they are up to 20. Because then they come with the missions of killing the old Christian in that particular village.
Did they say to you that they were attacking you because you are a Christian?
Yes.
What did they tell you?
The first thing when they came, they find the evidences of my Christianity, because I have my Bible on my chest. I have everything is within Christian distance. So when they meet me, they say, well, they know us. They're asking the other guy who we are together with him, why is he? I say, I don't know him. Because they know we are two of us in the house. So we have...
Who don't you know?
The fool.
No, you are saying that you don't know him.
Yes, the reason why I say I don't know him, because to make him run, because if I say he's around, then they may be searching around looking.
Okay, somebody else that live together.
We are 2 in the house.
And both of you are Christians?
Both of us are Christian. So I told him I don't know them, because I am shouting for him to hear the voice that these people are around me, so let him get another exit to run away. But it is God's grace, because they have round the house, but there is small entrance that he's able to get, and he run away. That is how God saved him. But for me, when I was already matched up on the mattress, they jammed my hand, my back, and tied it up. They asked me, say, where is that your colleagues? I say, I don't know where is he, and I don't know him. Say, okay. So we are asking for, give us money. I say, I don't have money. He say, okay. if you don't have money, we are going to kill you. I say, there's no problem, because God have removed fear from my heart. Because I just see them as just mere people like that. The way I see them at the gate the first time, they say, we are going to kill you. I say, no problem. So when they took my Bible, they throw it away. They fuck everything, only the mattress they left. Even the shoe I removed, they have taken it away. So they say, let's just go out, and they are trying to, that is to execute me. So my neighbor was with them. So because when...
Your neighbor that greeted you?
Yes, the neighbor that I'm talking about is the one with them. So when we came out, they say, I should kneel down. I kneel down. They say, okay, what we are asking, we are going to slaughter you now. I said, there's no problem.
Was this inside or not? They brought you outside?
Just, not outside, it's just at the door. We just go out of the room, at that main door. That is why they're going to do the...
So your hands were tied now? My
hand is tied at the back. So the guy, when we came out, that is their 7, so they called the other people because they have tied my hand. They say, come around, because they go and remove the jam, the lock, the door, the gate, so that for them to come more. So they called them, they should come more. They come off around about 20 of them. They round me at their middle. So when the first thing is asking me that we are going to slaughter, that is threatening me whether if I can accept to be part of them. I said, no, what I wanted to...
What did they mean when you said?
They mean that if I can join them to be a Muslim or to be also part of their atrocity, to be killing, yeah. So I said, me, the one thing I know, since you say you are going to kill me, there's no problem. They say, okay. One of them pushed me with the leg. Then because of, there's no support, so I fall down, I have a scars here. You can see scars here. Then secondly, they say, Malam, come and slaughter him. The Malam was around, because he is there ready for slaughtering, because they come with bunch of rock that day they are going to slaughter the whole Christian around the village.
Were they armed?
They are armed. They have everything. They have everything. They have AK-47, pistol, dagger, everything they have it. But the silent killing is just the slaughtering, so that nobody will hear something, so that he can run away. But if you shoot, the other people will hear.
Yeah.
But God planned it not that way. When they say, okay, Malam, come and slaughter him, I was laying, because they pushed me, 7 of them matched me. They said, Malam, come and slaughter him. He put the knife on my neck. When he put the knife, he drew it, then I just feel that something touched me, but I didn't feel the pain. So I just feel blood is rushing out of my body. It's like that's semi-hot water, not that hot.
Right.
So when they finish, they say, one guy is, those that they are matching me, say, cut from front, cut from front. So I turned my face like this. He put the knife twice through my mouth. He teared it. He said, this one don't die. I said,
so that's the mark?
That's the marks.
And is it the mark also on your neck?
Yes, the marks from my neck are all over. That is the mark, which often now I'm on pain of it. So when they say, they came out, they carry everything, as they stand at the door, even my neighbor is with them at the door that time. I just, God make it possible. I don't know how I stand off. So I stand off, I follow them at the gate. When they see me, they say, Yatashi. That is, they're saying, he raised.
What does that mean?
That is, he raised off. There's somebody who we have already killed, and he raised off. So they are on fear. Is it a human being? So they started running away. So they run off to 100 meters like that. They just stopped. My neighbor was there already with me at the gate, because he was telling me I should go back and sleep. So as we are...
Go back and sleep?
Yeah.
So you must be bleeding by this point.
Yes, with the cut on my neck and without losing my hand. He said, but his wife was in the room. She hears us discussing at the gate. She said, what is happening? You know, women, she came out and she had just a light in her hand, the torchlight. She shined on me. She said, she see all blood all over. She was shouting, I young Christian gave him, I young Christian gave him.
What does that mean?
That they have slaughtered the Christian brother, Christian neighbor. They have slaughtered the Christian neighbor.
That's what the woman
was saying. So when the woman is saying this, the guy see that he's going to be exposed. She push her. When he push her, she fall on ground, because they gather sand that they are going to repair their door. So she fall on it. She refused to go. So he went and meet the Boko Haram, because they are standing far away. That is like 100 meters. They seen us, because they have the arm, they have the everything, but they can't do anything again. So he went and meet them. The woman was lying down because he's in shock, seeing somebody who is flowing with blood and still standing. So I was asking, let them lose my hand. So when he went, he came back, he met us together with the wife. The wife asked him, lose his hand, lose his hand. So at the process, since he didn't leave, he went inside the house, he carried a knife and cut off the rope and tell me I should go back and sleep. I said, no problem. But God will make it possible. I cannot even imagine how God make it, because I'm able to go almost up to 2 kilometers, going around telling my Christian brother that they should leave. Nobody should follow me, because I was actually slaughtered.
Were you able to do that night or later?
That night, I didn't even go back to the room, because from the
with your wounds,
with the wound, I am putting my hand, removing the blood, because I don't want blood to stain through the spinal cord, because I don't know whether if stain through the spinal cord, later I may experience some pain. So I'll be removing the blood. The blood is rushing. Then I went to the door of all the Christians around. I told them I was slaughtered. I don't want anyone to follow me. Maybe they would follow me. And if they find anybody, they may slaughter him or they may kill him. So, but I'm telling them they should run away. Let the main one hide somewhere. So I walk around telling others. From there, I proceed to the Emir Palace. When I went to the Emir Palace, the people that they are sitting at the palace, that security light is already night. So that security light, when I came under it, they saw blood all over. They were shocked. So they run on. When they run in, one of them take courage through the window. Is telling me, what happened? I told them, this is what happened. He said, go to the secretary. I went to the secretary house, that is the secretary of the emir. I went to his house, knocked his door, he couldn't come. He didn't open. And I came back. Somebody may have told the emir that this is something is happening more. When I came back, I met the emir at the palace. He was waiting for me, because they told him that, why is the guy that you say this? Because you see the blood, because when I climb up on the floor, you see the stain of blood. But because I left, he was asking, why is the guy? So as they are just discussing where am I, they see me coming back with the wound. They say, is this guy? I say, yes. So he shined the light. You see, he can see my spinal cord from here. So he was even imagining. He said, he moved small. He said, can you see me? I said, I can see you. He said, are you a human being? I said, I'm a human being. I told him, I'm not going to die. He said, I still tell him what I can remember then. I forgive them. He said, you that, he's a Muslim. You that you are going to die and you are telling somebody who does this thing to you and you are saying, I forgive. I say, look, I'm not going to die. Since God left me for a purpose, if not, I may have no rest. And secondly, I forgive them because I offended God most. And he forgave me. And I don't know whether if God is in me, there's nothing that I can do to God that cannot forgive me. So I have also think in my heart that nothing that man can do me in flesh that I cannot forgive.
So because of time, can you tell us about how you met with your neighbor later after your recovery?
Yeah. Actually, after I recover, even now, because I am still around, I used to go to market. I meet with him. I assisted him almost more than 10 times.
So you still know that your neighbor.
We are even together. We are even together with him. I used to greet him. I told him that let him just take it as fast. I told him, he felt guilty when we met. I told him, don't mention it. I have forgive you.
Wow.
I have forgive you.
So how did you get...
I want him to tell us about the wife, the reason why you forgave him.
Yes. The reason why I forgive him is because actually it's God. This guy is taking care of a woman and her children. Then secondly, no matter, the children have not offended me. The wife have not offended me. And he's giving them food, at least, and giving them shelter. So if I kill him, where are they going to get this? And God have stopped me from dying. That God proved him, he is the one holding life. So for that case, I forgive him. Let him continue with the responsibility of taking care of that woman.
Interesting. Very powerful story. And it's actually a miracle that you didn't, they caught you, but you still have the strength to do all of that. Exactly. So how did you end up in the hospital? Because I see that you've been treated.
Exactly. I undergo many treatments and off to date.
How soon were you able to get to the hospital after the incident?
Actually, I spent almost, since around that 12, I was taken to hospital by around 7:30.
Was it the emir that organized taking you?
Yes, the emir called the local government quarter in that night.
Okay.
When the DPO was called.
The emir is still in office now?
No, he is late now.
He's late.
He is late.
But the emir was the one that arranged.
Yes, the emir called the Magum, which is the local government quarter. He said there is somebody who was slaughtered and he's with us. Can you come and pick him to the hospital? He said no. Since he was slaughtered, we know risk our life coming to pick him because he will die. Tomorrow we are coming to pick his corpse. That's what they answer him.
Wow.
Say okay. Later we are together with him at the palace because the emir is very courageous. I salute his effort. He stand with me until then was Leazoru was a JTF commander in Damaturu then.
Yeah.
So when he was informed about the incidents, actually he tried. He came by himself. He picked me from the palace.
The JTF commander?
Yes, the JTF commander. He took me to Damaturu. That is around.
So how did you manage to stop the bleeding? Did you get some kind of first aid?
I didn't get first aid since because God has done it.
You just put your hand.
I just put my hand. I don't want just blood to rush in through my spinal cord. I think later it may cause me problem. But after all, I was taken to the hospital actually. And when I went to the hospital,
the next day,
the next day,
in the morning,
yeah, in the morning, people were shocked because when you see me, there is no blood, but I can see, I can talk, I can do everything. They say, are you a human? People are gathering, asking, are you a human being? I say, I'm a human being. But they thought there is no blood that is supposed to be standing.
So how has your life been since that time? Before we go to Emmanuel, since that time now,
actually, it's amazing. It's amazing because Daddy Ma is my mentor. He's the one stand behind me up to this level. I undergo almost 3 times surgery. He's the one that's sourcing ways to find out how am I going to look like. Then I was not married. But today, I'm able to be proud of a father of 2 children.
Oh, wow.
Having a daughter and a son.
Oh, wow.
It's a great opportunity for me.
Wow. But of course, I mean, you say you still relate to that your neighbor who you suspect.
Yeah. We are together with him.
And so how did he take the fact that you were able to forgive him so easily?
Yes, to him. Yes. Actually, even if I forgive, in them, to forgive such atrocity that somebody does to you, you find it difficult for you to forgive him. You understand?
Yeah.
But he don't know. To me, I didn't mention it as part of something. Because I told him, I forgive you. Sometimes, anytime we met, if he get it, I said, please, feel free. We are no more. Don't think it that way. Think it as we are discussing with you before. I can give you injection. That is it. I can give him tablet. So forget. Have I ever harmed you? He said, no, just forget about it. That is what we are always encouraging.
Interesting. So do you have any trade or job that you do? Are you a farmer or something?
Actually, I'm not a farmer. I'm not a job. Because after I finished my school.
Yes.
My result was also being to captivity. I was 60 because I've held my result for 9 years. I'm struggling with Daddy. I called Daddy more than 100 times, telling him now I don't know whether I only finished secondary school. I don't have another A level result. So that is why I've been struggling, moving up and down until this thing happened. Even after this thing happened, I've been to school, hospital. They are saying they do exam, this and that I couldn't make it, and this and that. At the end of the day, they say, I don't have any result now. Until when I pursue it, I've been telling that they look at these people, with the situation I am in, see how they are doing to me. They hold my result for almost 9 years.
Which result is this? WAEC or what?
NYS, NCE.
NCE, okay.
Yes, NCE then.
Because you are a student then?
Yes, I'm a student. I just finished. This thing happened, yeah.
Okay. So how old were you then?
I think today I'm 43.
Then or now?
Now 43.
Now 43.
But then it's 30, should be, it's still 32.
Interesting.
32 or 33, yeah.
Very, very compelling story.
Thank you very much.
I'm just delighted that you managed to stay alive and that you are here today.
Thank you very much.
Let's turn it over to Emmanuel as we conclude. So can you just refresh our memories as the, because you have dealt with a lot of this kind of cases, for a long time, both here in Nigeria and also in the US. So what are your impressions about the life, how the lives of the victims, especially those that survived, how they have managed?
Yes, so Yobe experienced a massive genocide in 2012, where the homes of Christians were marked with chalk. And then at night, they came in and were killing the men. And so a lot of the men had to flee and live in the forest. But when they come back home during the day, they would trail them and kill them. So ultimately, there was a massive influx of refugees from Yobe into Plateau State. So in 2013, we came on that mission and we met several victims.
We met them at the communication center.
Yes. And there were 3 cases in particular that I have followed up since: him, Ezekiel, and Habila. Now, we've done 3 additional surgeries for. Ezekiel, we've done 3 additional surgeries for. He suffered 2 strokes, and unfortunately, about 7 weeks ago, he finally died.
Oh, that's Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Oh, wow.
He was shot 5 times, 2 in the face and 3 in the rest of the body. They had come to their company. They separated the Christians from the staff. There was 1 Muslim with them. They killed all the Christians and the Muslim, because they said, why is he living with infidels?
They killed the Muslim because he was living with them.
Yes, and then killed 5 Christians.
That's in the case of Ezekiel.
But Ezekiel was the sole survivor and lived until 7 weeks.
Until he died. And Habila was the one that he told, that if he was willing to recant, they would preserve his life.
Yes, they usually give them an opportunity to renounce their faith. And, so Habila, again, was a sole survivor. All the Christian males in his neighborhood were killed that night, and he survived. So, but the thing is, the challenge they continue to live with medical challenges. And recently, yesterday, he was seen by a neurosurgeon here. He has been referred abroad for further treatment, because after 3 surgeries, they've reached the peak of what they can do here.
So, Emmanuel, how do you think the Nigerian government can, what should we do now regarding what the Americans are offering us?
So, very quickly, in 2022, the 10th anniversary of the massacre, we met with 20 victims from Yobe. We brought them together. And we asked them how many of them had received assistance from the government in the 10 years since the attack. Only 1 person. We asked them how many had received assistance from the church. Only 1 person.
Wow.
So
out of the 20?
Out of 20, after 10 years. The only woman who had received some assistance from the government, 2 of her sons are soldiers who were attacked by Boko Haram. And her 3rd remaining child was bombed in a church. So 1 woman alone, 3 of her sons.
Wow.
So there's a big gap in servicing the needs of victims. And sadly, it is some of us, NGOs and
which was what we did in 2018,
who are helping.
Resources from America.
Exactly. So the government, if the government was filling the gap and attending to the needs of victims, part of the pressure on the international community will be reduced. But as recently as in August, President Trump gave $30 million for feeding of IDPs in the Northeast.
In Nigeria?
Yes, both Muslims and Christians. So it's not an anti-Muslim agenda. It is an anti-terrorism agenda. So that's one of the things the government...
Do you know the agency responsible that received that?
It was the World Food Organization.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that's part of what we're talking about. But in terms of direct response to the U.S., 2 things have happened this week that will undermine the security partnership with the U.S. Nigerian troops fired on defenseless women protesters and killed 9 of them. Okay, while the U.S. fact-finding delegation was on ground.
Where was that?
In Adamawa State. And so you're saying
what was the excuse?
That is what we're all asking. They said you are committing genocide or you are allowing genocide in your country. You say no, that Muslims are being killed also. Then your troops go and kill your own citizens.
At the same time?
At the same time. Why would the U.S. want to cooperate with a nation like that? Secondly, the second thing that happened was the Nigerian government deployed its air force to bomb in Benin. okay, without authorization of their government and without clearing from the airspace of a neighboring country.
Well, they said that there were two requests, according to the statement from the presidency.
Yes.
That there are two requests from the Benin government.
Yes.
So I don't, if that's true, then we can't say that they didn't get authority.
No.
If that's true.
In fact, here's the thing. Our law requires them to get authorization
from
the National Assembly before you invade. We literally had exactly the same situation 2 years ago when there was a coup in Niger. The president mobilized the troops, then he went to National Assembly for approval, and they refused. This time around, exactly the same. There's a coup in a neighboring country. He was asked for assistance. He should have gone to the National Assembly. He deployed the troops because he knew if he asked, they might not agree. So he decided to go ahead and do it.
Emmanuel, in their defense, you could also say that if they waited, the coup would have succeeded. I'm just saying.
But still, that doesn't give you a justification to violate the law. He went bombs are blazing in Benin. And he's saying that Trump cannot come and help kill the terrorists who are killing his people.
I see your point.
So it creates a dilemma for the United States because they were right here when all of this happened.
Very, very, very true. Let's just hope that we will try to find a way out of this messy situation, and especially the relief, for victims such as Mr. Yakubu, and Nabila and the rest of them. I think it's not late for government to offer some of the relief. This was what we did in 2013. When the Nigerian Christians in the U.S. brought $50,000.
Yes.
I remember when we brought the money, a lot of pastors were saying that is chicken feed. But we said, but
exactly.
It made an impact because people were not taking care of the victims. Yeah. And I hope that situation will change. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Yakubu Dauda. And thank you, Emmanuel, for the hard work, of living here and living in Washington, D.C., dumping all over the place. I'm sure that we will get a breakthrough in all of this.
Amen.
By the grace of God.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. It means that Nigeria will win because we will continue to push the important issues. My name is Laulu Akonde. Thank you for watching. And by the grace of God, I'll see you at the next edition. Welcome back to Inside Sources. In this segment, I want to have a quick conversation regarding the negotiation between the federal government and the university staff. They've been meeting all the associations and the groups in the university, academic, non-academic, medical, and the rest of it. Now, to join me in that conversation today, I have the president of the Congress of University Academics, Dr. Niyi Sumonu, who is an associate professor of atmospheric physics from the Obafemi Awolowo University. Comrade Sumonu, welcome back to Inside Sources.
It's nice to be here once again, and permit me to use this opportunity to appreciate what you are doing for the nation using this platform.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sumonu. So can you give us an update? We know that there has been a series of meetings between the federal government. We understand that the Minister for Education, Dr. Tunde Alausa, actually consolidated the negotiating team of the federal government under the leadership of Dr. Yayale Ahmed, so that committee is the one that is negotiating with all the interest in the universities. What is the update? Where are things now?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to say compliment of the seasons to the viewers at home. Yeah, your intro, it's factual. And I think I want to look at it from the perspective of the fact that the current government, is trying to do things differently this time around. Okay. In the time past, it used to be one committee meeting with different committees meeting with different unions in the university. But this time around, it's been consolidated. Yeah, there's been an inaugural meeting, at least for us.
And that consolidation seems to be a reasonable thing.
I think so, because Albert Einstein is reported to have said that insanity is doing things same way over and over and expecting different results. So For us, from our perspective, we've had inaugural meeting with the Alhaji Mahmood and Elder Statesman, the Ayali Ahmed's committee. And in that meeting, we submitted our proposals cutting across different kinds of things, including improved remuneration, of course.
Right.
Then we got, just yesterday, we got a communication that our submissions have been looked into. Meetings have been held on it, and positions have been taken, and that they are going to communicate with us a date to come around for the discussions over the positions of the government. So that is the stage we are now.
Okay, so government, the negotiators have said that they have looked at the presentation of all the unions, and government has taken a position that is going to be communicated.
So I will not be able to speak convincingly of other unions.
Okay.
But specifically, the information at our disposal is that the submission we made,
right,
we made one on 21st October. They also gave us a template with which we should write some things. We also did that afterwards. So those two things, to my mind, is what they said they have met over. They have looked at what is there, or what are their positions on each of the items for us, where or when we'll sit and discuss those positions,
right,
before we then move forward.
Okay. All right. Let's take it forward. So just a bit of background. The Congress of University Academics, came out of ASU, and one of the issues was because you guys had a more nuanced policy or idea regarding the use of strikes, and Congress has been home for a number of years. Can you just give a brief of how CONWA has been performing? Do you think that CONWA so far in the few years past have been able to achieve some of its stated objectives?
Yeah, maybe because of my background, I really love numbers. I would say CONWA has been around after registration for about 3 years. It's going to be 3 years in January next year.
Okay.
So this period, yes, issues that led into the formation is out there in the open, but I don't want to dwell on that. First and foremost, unionism. We should be able to define, albeit very shortly, is about advocacy in an organized and structured manner for the rights, welfare, dignity, interests of members, improved remuneration, and so many other things. So it's not synonymous, because people in this part of the world can confuse unionism with strike action. Because that's the only time you would notice a lot of unions in the country. But advocacy can come in form of what we are doing now, public engagement,
right,
press engagement. Advocacy can come in form of negotiation. Negotiation can lead to collective bargaining agreements. So CONWA, when it came out, when it was registered, has been following that path of consistent and continuous advocacy. We believe strike action, though legitimate, should be a thing of the last resort and should be sparingly used, if it's to be used at all, so that things are not disrupted, especially education, not to talk of tertiary education. And it is this continuity that the development of any nation, Nigeria inclusive, is tied to. All these breaks in transmission, if I'm allowed to use that, of academic activities is also negatively affecting the country. So to come back to the question, we've been advocating for a number of things. For example, we have advocated, you think that after our registration, it will be easy to get us to the negotiation table. We've got to shout ourselves oaks with the press, having different meetings with different stakeholders before we could be invited to the table. And that speaks to, by the time this negotiation concludes, that will speak to improved remuneration, improved condition of service. And that is one area in 3 years of existence of CONA. We also believe that as a way of doing things differently, stakeholders need to be brought together at different times, stakeholders that have things to do directly or remotely with education. Let me give an instance in that regard. That is pension. We noticed some 2-3 years back, we noticed that our colleagues, our teachers, our senior colleagues will retire and they will wait 2, 3, 4 years before they have access
to their pension.
Now you know that they are retiring at maybe 70. Let's say that is the age. Some of them may decide to do so before that time, and that will be voluntary.
Right.
But they retire at 70, and it takes 2-3 years. By 60, anybody of age 60 has one thing or the other that will need regular medication. And we see that statistically. We also believe in data-driven advocacy.
Right.
Statistically, 10 professors will retire, or 10 colleagues will retire. In another 2-3 years, 3 or 5 or 4 or 6 of them are dead due to uncertainties in their funding. Because the moment they retire, they no longer take salaries, their pension is not come. So what we did was to approach PENCOM. What is causing this delay was to approach PFAs, pension fund administrators. And we wrote letters here and there, we engaged, which culminated in 2024 at a webinar attended by PENCOM, attended by Nigeria Union of Pensioners, NUP, and also PFAs. We chose about 4 or 5 PFAs representing, and they made presentations, and we followed up. Just about this October, or about some few months back, the President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, released 758 billion naira bond to clear the backlog. So that kind of achievement, that kind of engagement, quiet, inclusive. So when you make progress like that, you don't have to, it's not all the time that you make noise that you make progress, really. So
now, university staff, lecturers don't have to wait when they retire for another 2 years.
Yes.
Because the 780 billion is
758 billion.
It's not just for, it's generally for everybody that is in the pension system, but it also affects the
academics that retire.
So when people retire now, they can start getting their pension immediately.
And that will elongate their lives.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Another one that I feel I should mention, for which I should appreciate the current Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is bringing on board to be beneficiary of TED Fund, the inter-university centers. They were yanked off as among the beneficiaries of TED Fund about 13 years ago.
So
inter-university centers, it's a center like National Mathematical Center in Abuja here. The National Arabic Language Village in Ngala, Maduguri. French Village.
So they are treated also as university staff.
They actually.
But they were yanked off TED Fund.
Yes, before. We operate the same salary scale. They are paid on CONWAS, Consolidated University Academic Salary Scale.
So now you've been able to bring them back?
Yes. The government, about 3 or 4 days ago, announced, that's Dr. Tunji Alausa announced that they have to be brought back to be beneficiaries of TED Fund. So, in fact, there was a program we attended with TED Fund Executive Secretary, sometimes in March, virtually. We protested this exclusion. And the man advised, maybe you go to the National Assembly to sort things out. And we follow through things like that because we believe that we can engage, constructive engagement produce results without noise, without disruption. And that is good for everyone. Also, last but not, just to mention a few. There's this third-party deduction which has to do with when the salaries were not paid in 2022 as a result of strike actions embarked upon that year. And the government, even though the court made a pronouncement, withheld the salary 7.5 months through presidential pardon or presidential prerogative. 4 months were paid. By the way, we deserve our outstanding 3.5 months because we never declared strike. So when the 4 months were paid, the statutory deduction into third party were not paid.
Oh, wow.
It got to a point that we had to, individual of us had to write, we wrote petition collective, and we signed to the IPPIS in April of this year. Because we don't talk about this, because we don't make noise about this, does not mean
that it's not happening,
that we are not moving.
So that has also been resolved.
That has been resolved.
Okay.
So, and we have a couple of others like
interesting. Because of our time, I'll ask you one more question. I wanted to confirm from you whether it is indeed true that some members of CONWA face a bit of intimidation from the other staff unions because they chose to be in CONWA and not the other staff union. Are there indeed confirmed cases of such intimidation?
I will personally appreciate you for this question. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, in fact, when we started CONWA in OAU, that is written all over us. Some of us were intimidated even with, let me put that aside. Let me speak to what can be confirmed.
Right.
I have 3 instances that I'm going to share here. 2 instances have to do with the payment, just the payment this year of academic allowances, and one has to do with the warning strike that just held a couple of weeks back. I'll start with that. Yes, people that chose to go on strike are legitimate. They are within their right to do so.
That's the members of ASU.
People who choose to say that for whatever reasons, we do not believe in strike,
as the members
as CONWA are free citizens in this country and should also be respected for their choice.
So what happened?
So in University of Benin, our members were harassed for choosing to continue to work because they were in exam period that time.
So how did the harassment take place? They
going to classes that they could not invigilate exams and stuff like that. It took the intervention of the university to put a stop to that.
So members of CONWA went to invigilate, and members
because
of
we didn't declare any strike.
And the members of ASU tried to get them out of the place.
Yes. It took the intervention of the university.
Of Benin.
Yes. It took the intervention of the vice chancellor, and we want vice chancellors to emulate that kind of vice chancellor in UniBen.
Okay, which other
to allow freedom of choice, as long as it is in alignment with Section 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. The 2 I mentioned about EAA, one is in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka.
Okay.
Our sister union just said, you cannot partake in this EAA. It is not your money. It's an academic allowance. It is our money. In fact, that took me by surprise. The government has this money, and for what purpose is this money? To pay for those who had overworked beyond certain level.
Who said that in Awka?
Our sister union.
Okay, they made an official position.
Yes,
that is only ASU members that can benefit.
Everywhere they said it.
But the money is not in their care, though. It's in the care of the university.
Well, some universities have outsourced the calculation to the other union.
Okay, I see.
And for that, they have appropriated that it is their money.
Okay.
So it took us to write, our lawyers to write the vice chancellor of that university and the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Toji Alausa, before our members were paid there. One painful one to me, that was painful. One more painful one to me was that just about last week or so was when our member, one person, I must say, in University of Jos, was just paid his own EAA. BAA that was paid in April, May, latest June this year.
So your member is just collecting his own?
He just collected his own.
What happened? Why was it delayed?
He said he's not, he's not entitled to that money, even though he filed his claims, he signed to the HOD forwarded it to the Dean and to the Vice Chancellor. And some executive of the union just said, no, we're not going to pay you. We're already waiting to start a legal matter before the money. Well, I was informed that the money was paid.
Interesting.
Sometimes last week, Thursday.
Interesting.
So this is a tip of iceberg of what we face. On online platforms, I'm not saying difference of opinion. People practically intimidating. That there's no way we will allow these people to survive and stuff like that. If it's about calling names or it's a free world, they can do whatever they like with that. But to the point of saying that you identifying or making a choice, and as a result of that choice, which is not against the constitution of our country, and that should stop. That should stop forthwith. And I want to appeal to all our vice chancellors that freedom of choice is enshrined in our constitution.
Yeah.
And they should allow that to be operational in our universities.
Interesting. You know, I recollect my last interview with the president of ASU, Professor Piwuna. I think after the interview, he did say that he welcomed, you know, the emergence of CONWA. So we hope that they will leave that out.
I hope so.
In their relationship
I hope so.
With you.
I hope so.
And not be involved in these reported cases of intimidation.
We really don't have reasons to intimidate ourselves because what we do as academics borders primarily on perspectives.
Very true.
Our research is bordered primarily on perspectives. If we're looking at things from one prism alone, no progress will be made.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Associate Professor Simono, for
thank you so much once again for having me.
Thank you for updating us on the developments regarding the negotiation between the federal government and university teachers and other staff. And thank you for your voice.
Thank you so much.
All right. And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. Nigeria will prevail because we always put out the main issues. My name is Lauda Konde. Thank you for watching. And by the grace of God, I'll see you at the next edition.